If my film doesn't work, no matter how much I invest, I can't get more screen time. It's always really down to the feasibility of the film. Ultimately, I know in order to strive in Malaysia, you need to make commercial films. If the market prosper, who's going to be the biggest beneficial party in Malaysia? Cinema. Sorry, 7 million. 7 million. 35 million, 20% 7 million.
Yeah.
Imagine this 7 million, if this 7 million came back to producers. Making movies is like a calculated gambling. We were shooting on the Super 16, the film, right?
Oh, you were shooting on actual film?
Yes, actual film. And we were being sandwiched between Ip Man and Iron Man. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
What's the saying? Like, if you can't change something, you dance with it. But I do believe movie making, cinema experience will not die.
Curiosity is the key to the imagination.
My girlfriend podcast, let's do this.
Dream the impossible dream. Welcome to Mike Helfman's Curiosity Podcast.
All right, good. We've got Adrian Teh,
Hello.
Malaysian film director.
Yes, I am.
And I am very excited to be talking to you. And I'll tell you why. Because, I mean, we're going to get into like your whole backstory and everything. But first of all, you know, Adrian, you and I, we have a pretty good relationship.
Yep.
And I want to talk to you because I feel that you are one of those people who continuously push for more and better and higher quality and are constantly raising the stakes when it comes to filmmaking, particularly in Malaysia. Like you kind of started the whole trend with this big blockbuster, I think, with Pascal.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten bigger from there. So that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to you, because you like pushing boundaries.
Yes. There are pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
Pros is because as a filmmaker, I always look to find ways to see how I can improve my work.
Yeah.
That's number one. And then because in Malaysia industry, you know, we are pretty new, pretty small. And then there are a lot of things we can do and try in the Malaysian industry for now. So that's the reason why I don't want to get like fixated to one type of genre in my work. Hence, I always explore, always try new genre, try new story, things, do things differently. That's my aim of filmmaking in Malaysia. But the con is not everybody is happy about it, especially my investors, right? Because the budget is getting bigger and bigger. But I guess making movies is like a calculated gambling, right? So it's a gamble. No one knows what's a winning formula to it. But for one thing for sure, if you keep making the same thing over and over again, it will flop one day. So whether it's your product or other people's product, we don't know. But rest assured, audience is going to get fatigued if the genre is being repetitive too many times.
Look at Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel fatigue, right?
Yes.
Superhero fatigue.
Yes.
I mean, all those films were making over $1 billion, guaranteed. $1 billion. Now they're making 400,
Yes,
300.
exactly.
You know?
That's a pretty obvious deep towards the need of Marvel superhero movies nowadays. So yeah, like I said, but it's a calculated gambling. I gamble in a way that I feel comfortable, that I don't just take people's money and put everybody at risk. You know, so that's how I make films. I make films because now, with a bit of experience that I have right now, you know, I know how to sell my movie even before I started rolling. And then with the Malaysian government support, FIMI and etc. I've never taken grant, by the way. It's always FIMI. So, you know, when you have experience, you know how things works, and then
Maybe you can explain to people what FIMI is for those that don't know.
FIMI is Film in Malaysia Incentive. So basically, this is an incentive given by FINAS. Whatever you spend in Malaysia, 30% of it, our government is going to pay you back, like an incentive. Of course, there are certain criteria, there are certain thresholds you need to fulfill. But yeah, it's a pretty solid and pretty creditable incentive by FINAS.
And this is for both local films and foreign
Yes,
films.
of course. They have different threshold when it comes to, you know, to apply for a local product or foreign product. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a very solid and creditable scheme that launched by FINAS. It's called FIMI, Film in Malaysia Incentive. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, even though like I do a lot of big budget stuff, but when all things considered, I know the sales that I can put on the table, and then the FIMI that I can get and to put on the table, the risk is manageable. It's not something like, you know, I need to do a certain amount of box office to hit, to even break even. For me right now, if I make a 5 million, 6 million budget kind of movie, I think I'm pretty sure I'm 80%, 85% covered. So I don't rely I don't expose myself to the market with the whole 5 million budget. Like probably just like 10, 15 or maybe 20% left exposed that I need to recruit from the box office. Yeah, that's the way.
I forgot to mention, Adrian's also a producer.
I am. Yes,
So I
I am.
think this is the producer side.
Yeah, so I always keep
Talking.
on changing my cap. You know, director, producer. So
Yeah. So, okay, but all right, we're going to dive deeper into that a little bit later. But before we do, I want to know what got you involved in the film industry? What inspired you to get in the film industry in the first place? Because you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. So I remember 1998 or 1999. I watched this movie called Godzilla by Roman. Roman Emmerich, I think.
Oh, Roland Emmerich.
Roland
yeah,
Emmerich,
with
yes.
Matthew
Roland
Broderick.
Emmerich. Yes,
right,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the. I remember watching this movie in the cinema. Then I left. When I was in the cinema, everybody knows there's no Godzilla in the world, but then somehow they make it so real, so believable. So I left out loud in the cinema, like, oh my god, how do they do this, right? So I remember staying in the cinema until the end credit rolls. So I check out the end credits, trying to understand what the hell, like what are these things, right, that's scrolling on the screen right now. Then only I started to realize that in order to make a film, you need that many people, right? You need that many people, that many departments, like, you know. But I have no idea what those people do. I have zero understanding of filmmaking. But I look at Roland Emmerich, the name. Oh, this is the biggest credit. This guy must be somebody. Oh, I want to be like this dude next time. So that's the first impression I have about filmmaking. And then I have zero understanding of filmmaking. I don't know what does a director do, what does a cameraman do. I know nothing, literally. I was 15 years old, I think. I was 15 years at that time. And then plus, I think it's my nature that I like to tell story. You know, I like to tell story. I like to imagine stuff. I like to, vision. But like, when I read, I like to visionize it. Like I like to vision what I read. So, yeah. So everything just kind of like fall in place for me. So I started taking off. I started to take a degree in USM, University of Science Malaysia. So I'm 100% Penang-made boy, Penang-made product. Yes, because my primary school, my nursery, primary school, secondary school, pre-U, university, everything, Kau team done in Penang. Yeah, so I'm 100% Penang product. Yeah, that's how I got started. I got intrigued by the movie, and then I thought, why don't we just explore it? And then, then slowly, I got to know more about the industry, and then it doesn't change my view and my willingness to try in the industry. Yeah.
So did you make any? You make any student films, anything
I
like
did.
that back in the day?
Yeah. Of course, I had a degree. I have a degree in film and broadcasting. And I think my final year project, we won the best film, best director, best whatever. Yeah. So, and you actually can tell so even back in those days, right? I mean, I have my course mate, like quite a number of them. When we were doing the final year project, it was tough. You have sleepless night, you have pressure, because we were shooting on the Super 16, the film, right?
Oh, you're shooting on actual film.
Yes, actual
Cool.
film. Yeah, so we back in those days, I still need to learn like how to develop the film, how to edit it with the physical.
So you were splicing it, editing it the right way.
Yes. So I did all that, and then you could tell by then, like, there are only a handful who were really interested. Those who like just want to get, getting by, just want to get a grade, graduate, and do something else. Which is true. Like, I think my course, I'm the only one who's left in the industry. I mean, there were a couple, but then until now, I think I'm the only one left. I'm not sure, but probably I'm wrong. But anyway, so yeah, I did my, I directed my final year project, because we work in a team, and then you must have a director, DOP, wardrobe, art, and everything, right? So I volunteered to be the director, and everybody said, okay, you go do it. So yeah, something like this. Yes.
Okay, and then how did your career progress from there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so after I graduated from USM, I came down to KL in 2008, I think.
Okay.
17 years ago. Anyway, yeah. And then I started working as a freelance. So I basically take whatever job that I could find. So I've worked in, I remember my first ever freelance job was, I was the location assistant for a Astros short series or something. I can't remember the name. So I was the location assistant, and I've tried wardrobe department. I've worked under art department, PA, handy. I've never worked under technical department. I've never worked as an AD, but other than that, pretty much every department I've got my hands onto before. Yeah. So basically work on commercials, drama, corporate videos. Yeah, those were the days, I just grabbed whatever I could find back then. Yeah. And my first breakthrough was 2000, 2009, actually 1 year later after I got into the industry. So it was, I mean, probably just my luck. I got to meet up with my ex-partner Alien. You know who's Alien, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I met up with him in 2008, 2009-ish.
Right.
And then there's just out of the blue, I was a young lad back then. I was
Yeah.
like 25, 26 years old. Then I brought up this idea to him. I said, hey, Lin, why isn't there anybody who wanted to make a local Chinese film that talks about Malaysian Chinese kampong story that gathers, because Malaysia, we produce a lot of like international stars, right? Like Michelle Yeoh is one of our stars, but of course, other than Michelle Yeoh, she's like really the top tier.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those who are famous in Asia or Southeast Asia. We have a lot of famous name produced from Malaysia, right? So I was telling Alain, why don't we just gather them, all of them, to come back and let's make a film out of it. And then Alain said, you know what? Someone just said exactly the same thing to me yesterday. So it was Anu. Anu was the director. So he himself is a very famous figure in Asia. He's a singer. He's a singer come actor. But yeah, he's really famous. I mean, probably like back then he was really famous. He was doing tours around Asia, this and that. And then Alain said, Anu just said this to me yesterday, exactly the same thing. Why don't we all meet up and see what we can do? I was like, okay, I got nothing to lose. Okay. So we met up, and then that's how we started the whole dynamic of making the first ever Malaysian Chinese commercial film. And then the movie eventually got released in 2010.
Okay.
And
what was
then-
the name of it?
Sorry?
What was the name?
Ice Kacang Puppy Love.
Ice Kacang Puppy Love.
So, and then that time, that was literally my first movie. I was the executive producer of the film.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to. Basically, Anu, he's the director. So basically, he takes charge of everything involved creatively. Alien takes charge of production. You know him. He takes charge of everything. So filmmaking. It's not just about creativity. It's not just about production. Anything falls other than these two categories, I have to tap out. I have to take care of it, which includes financing, legal stuff, distribution, marketing,
Yes.
contracts, all this stuff. So I mean, thankfully they believe in me. So I took the effort to go and study, dummies accounts, dummies this, dummies that. I bought the books and I read myself, so that at least I know the terminology when I talk to people, right? Yeah. So I think that kind of built my foundation in filmmaking. And then because of Ice Kacang Puppy Love, it was quite controversial in a way back then, because we make noise of it, because back then we were not classified as Malaysian local films. The regulations stated clearly that in order for you to classify as a Malaysian local films, you need to have at least 70% of Malay language spoken in the movie. It was not wrong, because people set up this regulation back in those 1980s. So perhaps back then, nobody foresaw that one day other races might be making their own language film, right? So it wasn't wrong. So we took that movie and then we used it as an opportunity, and then we brought it up, and then we spoke to so many people, and then eventually this topic being debated in the parliament, and then took them a year later to change the regulation, or to update the regulation that in order to classify as a local films, you just need to have Malay subtitles. That's it. And then the reason why we wanted to fight for it, of course, is financially motivated, because if we don't get classified as local films, we cannot get a tax rebate. Back then, there was 20% tax rebate. So our film made 25%. Sorry. So our film made about 4 million box office back then, and we were being sandwiched between Ip Man and Iron Man. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So now, if you ask me right now, I will never release my title sandwiched in between these two titles, but we did it anyway, and it was a 4 million box office. It was a record back then. Yeah. So in order for us to get back the 20% tax, entertainment tax from the government, we had to do what we had to do. And then I remember me and Anu, we both went to Parliament. We go and see Minister. We go and see that. Like, because of this film, I think this film is fundamental, like a cornerstone to my career. Because the talkability, the controversial of the film, enabled me to talk to a lot of people, politicians, this and that, and that eventually led to the birth of Chinese Film Association of Malaysia. I was the founder, and I was the first 2 terms president of the association, all because of this movie. Yeah, so that's how everything got started. And then when people say first attempt is important, and especially if you can get the first attempt right, then subsequently it'll be easier. So I was riding on the tide at that time, because Ice Kacang released in, if I remember correctly, it was either February or April, early of the year, in 2010. I believe it was April. And then it was a hit, It was a hit. By our standard, it was a hit. 4 million is huge money back then. That time, the box office, the price per ticket is only 11 ringgit or even 10. So we had 4 million. So we had like about 400,000 admissions. Let's say 400,000 admissions. So 400,000 admissions compared if you use today's ticket price is about 11, 12 million ringgit. Yeah. So yeah, and then I was riding on the tide, because I wanted to be a director, right? But I was the EP for Ais Kacang Puppy Love.
Right.
And I'll give you all the boring story of how difficult it was for us to find money. That I can talk about 3 days. I won't finish in 3 days. So then I told, because I got to know a lot of distributors, Mr. Tong, this and that. I knew everybody because of the project. Then I was telling them, hey, see, we should make another film this year. We should definitely make another film and then release end of the year. So that's how I proposed myself to direct a movie. So I came up with a story, this and that. And GSC, they never invested in local films before. So I was the one who actually took the effort, prepared the chart, do the statistics, and proposed to Mr. Tong, and I think it was Mr. Tong only that time that, hey, Mr. Tong, boss, I tell you why GSC should invest in local films. I'm blah, 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 showing all the stats, this and that, because eventually, if the market prosper, who's going to be the biggest beneficial party in Malaysia? Cinema.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So I did all my, my salesman talk. I do all my pitching, this and that. I show them the charts. I show them like, if this movie collects this much, how much actually goes to you? How much goes to your pocket? How much goes to your left pocket? How much goes to your right pocket? And then they said yes. So GSC invested the first three local films that GSC ever invested were all my films. So the first one that they invested, my directorial debut was called Lelu Popo. And then I got back everyone who helped on Ais Kacang Puppy Love to chip in, to invest in Lelu Popo. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I got my
okay, you bring up a lot of points there, and I'm starting to understand how the Adrian Teh of today has become who he is, right? I mean, that first movie really allowed you to navigate through the bureaucracy of entertainment and government and filmmaking, and you were quite a prolific player in terms of establishing the Chinese movie industry here. Now, and not only that, also getting GSC to invest in films for the first time. However, when you look at GSC investing in films, because that's not usually a business model, at least in the United States, right? You don't really see theaters chains investing in movies because there is kind of a conflict of interest in that in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Because then they're going to give the best time slots to the movies that they've invested in. What about the other films that they're distributing?
On that note, I think that's not the case for GSC. So right now they have different arms, right? They have their cinema arms, they have their distributor arms, they have their movie investment arms, right? So even back in those days, when even GSC invested in my films, like the first 3 films, I have problems with my screen time, because the programmer is a different department. The programming department is a different department led by a different person. It's not by Mr. Tong. So Mr. Tong can do so much, right? So when it comes to programming or to plan how many show times per day, it really comes down to how feasible they think your film can work, how much they think your film deserves per day. How many screen time? It's really down to the programmer. So I understand what you're saying just now, but to be fair to GSC, I don't think that has happened. Even nowadays, even last year, if my film doesn't work, no matter how much I invest, I can't get more screen time. It's always really down to the feasibility of the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just. I'm not blaming anything on anybody, but I mean, it's just business, right? Like, let's say there's another big group that's a distributor, and they're distributing, and they're also a producer, and they're distributing their own title, for example.
Yep.
Right? And then you're using them as a distributor. You would think that they would inherently put their film that they're also producing and distributing ahead of someone else that they're just distributing, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is just
normal. This is normal.
This is just business.
Yeah.
The nature of the business, I suppose. Okay, so you directed this second film.
My directorial debut is called Lelu Popo.
Lelu
Popo, yes.
Okay, so you directed that.
Yes.
And from there on, it was just off to the races.
Yes.
Producing, directing, and going just to where you are today.
Yes.
So, all right. Now, as a director, you have to have a vision, right? And I know some of the things that stand out when I watch your films are you like to do some of these longer takes, these one-shot or interesting angle takes, which I think is very cool.
Yeah.
So what are there films that inspired you to create films the way that you do?
See, I'm a film student.
Yeah.
I love to watch different genres of films, right? I watch indie films, I watch art house film. So I always learn from what I watch, and then but ultimately I know in order to strive in Malaysia, you need to make commercial films. So, and then how can we make a commercial film interesting? That's always my goal. Even now, I'm still learning. Like how can I make my next film better? How can I make my next film more entertaining? And one of the things that I think I can do, which is tangible, because people's reaction is intangible. You don't know how people's going to react to a film, right? So my production is something that tangible in my perspective. So I'm trying to make those things that I can control more interesting by doing things that you mentioned just now, like putting in money shots. Some shots that typically is difficult to craft, difficult to put together, those kind of thing. I like seeing my crew swear on set, especially my CG guy, my DOP, because when they swear, I know I'm pushing you to your ages, right? So if I just make things, hey, why don't you do this, and then, oh yeah, we can do. What's the fun of it? Like you're just still within your comfort zone.
No, I mean I love those kind of shots too. Like in MALBATT, for example, you've got one shot where you're like in the tank, and then you kind of come up and out and over the tank and through the tank, and it's kind of a long shot, but it's a big budget film, but it also has a shot like that makes it feel like it's got a little bit of that indie feel to it. Because independent films love to do that kind of thing, right? And for people that don't know, I was a little bit involved in MALBATT.
Yes. He helped us on as a vocal actor.
Yes, I did some vocal acting for MALBATT.
Yes.
So it's my voice, but coming out of someone else's mouth.
Yes.
But it's a little film secret.
Yes.
So now you've got so your big. What was your biggest hit to date? Was it
MALBATT.
Was it MALBATT?
MALBATT, yes.
MALBATT, and MALBATT was also the biggest budget film in Malaysian history.
I'm not sure about that because I won't claim that, but the media has it. The media kept saying it, so I don't know. I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure. Yeah.
But it was a big film. I mean, it was shot overseas. It was shot in Malaysia. It was a war film that depicted.
Black Hawk Down.
Essentially the Malaysian side of Black Hawk Down, helping the American side, which I thought was very interesting. Now you're producing and directing quite a few movies this year, I think. You've got one coming out next month, or this month.
This month, next week, to be honest, Majorompa. So we shot the movie last year. We started production in November. We wrapped by January this year. And then it's been a couple of months of post-production. And then, we're releasing it next week.
Next week.
Yes. It's a story.
What date is the release date?
11th of September.
September 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that movie about?
So basically, this is how I pitch to my investors, right? Imagine now you see me cross over Ocean 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the vibe of the movie. I hope I deliver it that way. you come and watch it, and you're coming to a premiere, right?
Yeah.
So come and watch it. So So basically, it's a thief. Okay. Working together with a group of it's a magician. It's a magician who works together with a group of thieves. They don't know each other, but they have the same goal. So how they come together, they don't trust each other, but how do they come together and to perform the heist, to steal something from the bad guy? It's as simple as this. So it's a simple story, but from Malaysian cinema's perspective or Malaysian local market perspective, we had one heist movie last year, The Expert, right? So I think The Expert was a bit too serious. It was a bit too serious. So I intend to make something more fun, more light, and then more enjoyable by adding in magic, by adding magic elements. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so no, that's cool. So you've got that coming out, and then you've been working. Like, are there certain actors that you feel that you vibe with when you're on set, and like you put them in specific movies? Like, you've worked with some of Malaysia's biggest actors. I mean, hell, you've basically cultivated some of these guys' careers in a sense, right? Who's in Magic Rompa?
So very lucky for me. In Majorompa, it is the first time that I'm working with Zul Arifin, and then also Shahnaz Ahmad. And also, it's my first time working with Amelia Anderson and Nadia also, 4 of them, my 4 lead. And then, as of now, as we speak, who are the 2 hottest hunk in Malaysia right now, or the hottest actor in Malaysia right now? It's Shahnaz and Zul. So when I casted them, when I rolled the camera last year, I did not know that both of them were gonna be this big. So because Sheriff was big last year, but people thought, who would have knew who would have knew that, it was going to be the highest box office movie in Malaysia last year, right?
Yeah.
And then Shana's this year, Blood Brothers, is the highest movie to date in Malaysia, like comparing even to the international titles. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm lucky this time. I just hope people will come and watch. And then I have no problem working with them. Both of them are very professional.
Blood Brothers, Shana's from Blood Brothers, obviously, is the biggest movie to date this year, like 80 million or something like that, 76 million, quite a lot of money. And I found that local films in the local market have continuously stepped it up and made more and more money in the last 5-6 years, since COVID, basically. But you've also seen international films, Hollywood films in particular, go down in revenue.
Yeah. I think that's the trend that is happening everywhere around the world. People want local content. People want localized story. People want the language that they are familiar with being heard in the cinema. The faces that they are familiar with being seen in the cinema, So compared to Hollywood titles, I think the rise of Netflix and OTT platform kind of contributed to that fall from the Hollywood titles, because we get to see amazing titles, we get to see amazing products from OTT nowadays. So what makes the Hollywood titles unique last time was no longer valid. We can actually just switch on our Netflix and then just watch whatever content that we have on Netflix right now, which are fantastic. Most of them, top tier actor, top tier budget even, and those kind of content can be seen from Netflix. So that kind of take away the urge or the need for us to consume Hollywood titles, And then preferably nowadays, unless there are those super strong titles or super actor like, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, those people are in it. If not, Malaysia as one of the most obvious market that, we actually more leaning towards to watch the local content.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I would also say that Netflix contributed to that in a sense where they started giving money towards local producers to create more localized content, right? Like prior to the last decade or so, Money Heist, for example, right? That was a huge show, even in Malaysia, and that's a Spanish-speaking show, right? But to Spain, to get a show that actually is able to go global, right? That's essentially putting local production into global households.
Yes.
So I think that Netflix not only helped by allowing you to see more Hollywood content online, but also by seeing and maybe inspiring people to say, like, hey, local productions can also go global.
Who knows, one day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Blood Brothers was actually the #1 film for foreign titles globally.
No, non-English title.
For non-English titles.
Yes,
Like last month or so.
Yep.
So congrats to Scope and them for that. That's amazing.
That's fantastic. Really fantastic achievement.
Yeah, and recently, like as far as last year, I saw that the New York Times did a write-up on like that Lahadatu movie. So Malaysian films are getting more and more international appeal.
Yeah, and because of Netflix, people around the world get to watch our movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, and it's good for the local economy as well, right? I mean, when you make a movie, how many jobs do you provide?
For my job, I would say easily 50, 60 crew on set. That's minimum.
Right.
And then extras, we have hundreds or if not 500-600 extras per project per se. And actors, I would say we provide like quite a bit of job opportunities.
And post-production,
VFX, and etc. Yes.
Right, and not only that, there's the supporting industries, right? The distributors, the theater workers, everybody works there. Without guys like you, that wouldn't be possible.
Yep.
So I think it has a very positive effect on it. And what do you think about some of the Malaysian policies when it comes to entertainment, like the entertainment tax, for example, and where it's at now? I mean, you're somebody who's delved into this government stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, is it here? Is it there? It's different in this state than it is in that state.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
So to me, I think entertainment tax is one of the major problems that we have nowadays for the local market. But it's a major problem for us. But, okay, one thing you need to understand is that the entertainment tax that you pay when you purchase a ticket goes to the state government, not the federal government.
Right.
So it's especially like you said, our local titles is growing, and the box office number is getting higher and higher. So it's a revenue or it's an income that the state government cannot overlook. So when they have that in mind, and Malaysia currently we are being ruled by a few parties, especially at the state level, right? And then not everybody is willing to cohesively agree to a solution to reduce the entertainment tax, because some states they might need it, some states perhaps some states they are more they are not so dependent on the entertainment tax income, so they will be more okay to say, okay, you know what, we can do this. But not every state is like this. So to counter this, that's why we have shout out to our local federal government, especially the ministry. They're having this called ITFC. So it's an incentive for local producers, but the cap is at maximum 500,000. So what it does is that they're gonna give you 10% incentive off the box office number that you make. Right? Let's say if your title make ringgit 1 million, you're gonna get about 100,000. 5 million, 500,000. 50 million, still also 500,000.
Is this implemented?
It's already
so it's capped at 500K.
Yeah, capped at 500,000. So in order for you to get this ITFC, you need to go through Wajib Tayang.
Right.
You need to go past our Wajib Tayang. You need to screen the title through Wajib Tayang.
Yeah.
Then you can get back this. The government is taxing us 20%. Some say 22% for entertainment tax. But
Can we also explain to people what Wajib Tayang is?
Okay, so Wajib Tayang is called compulsory screening scheme, implemented by FINAS long time ago, which initially is to protect, or not to protect, to cultivate local titles. You know, because if coming in from a commercial perspective, most of the time cinema won't want to or unwilling to screen local titles, because to them it's a waste of opportunity, because it doesn't make money, it doesn't fetch customers as much as those international
Mostly
titles.
last time, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest, even nowadays, not every title works.
No.
And then if those titles go under compulsory screening scheme, the cinema has to entertain. Right. They need to still screen it. So I think it's a scheme that is must have. It's a must have for us in Malaysia, because that's for us to cultivate new talent, new filmmakers, new directors. So, and for a stronger producer or bigger directors, for bigger title films, we don't always go under Wajib Tayang. We don't go under compulsory screening scheme, because we already have our name on it. We already have our track record on it, and the cinema believe in us. So you can go through commercial terms. They will just arrange your title as per what they deem fit, right? But the downside to it is that you don't get to enjoy ITFC,
right,
because you are not under compulsory screening scheme. But most of the title that would have dealt with the cinemas directly, like myself, we will get FIMI most of the time. So you cannot double dip. Once you get FIMI, you cannot get ITFC.
Right.
Yeah. So you need to navigate your way, lah.
Okay, so getting back to the tax,
Yeah.
right? So you were in the midst of saying that you're getting 10% back on the ITFC, but then some states have 20% tax.
No. I think every state had at least 20% entertainment tax. Some might go up to 25.
Didn't the government want to reduce that to 10%? I thought.
I have not.
Maybe in KL, I think KL and.
I remember there are a few states that implemented this already, but I don't have the details. Yeah,
Okay.
but in general, rule of thumb is about 22%.
Yeah, I don't think that's I understand the sin tax, right? I understand taxing cigarettes and taxing alcohol and things that aren't good for you, but going to the cinema, that's pure entertainment, right? That's something that people are doing when they have nothing else to do, and they should be rewarded for that, because they're not entertaining these sinful activities of alcohol and partying and tobacco.
I mean, if you come to think about it, I'm not always against, but I'm against the idea of giving free grants. Okay, I mean there are a category of filmmakers that we should encourage, we should give, but to give out free grants to almost everybody is something that I disagree. and to counter that, because Malaysian government, they like to give money. Like recently, they just give $50 to everybody to buy whatever things you want in those whatever store, right? So, and then giving money like that is the old way that works, right? Probably that's how they keep people happy. They think we are doing this for you all, in return, support us, this kind of thing. But there's actually another way, better. If you look at the industry as a whole, or the Malaysian market as a whole, the better way to it is to eliminate the entertainment tax for local titles. You still can get, like right now, if you look at per year, the ratio between international total gross box office and local is about 80% international, 20% local. Some probably 7-3 in good years for Malaysian movies. So you are literally just waiving 20-30% of your total box office revenue. In return, if you do this, you know how much it would have benefited me if, for the case of MALBATT, I'm just using my case as an example. So MALBATT, I have 35 million box office, right? Let's say 20%. goes to the went to the government. So it's 700,000. No, sorry, 7 million. 7 million. 35 million, 20% 7 million.
Yeah.
Imagine this 7 million, if this 7 million came back to producers, then we would have been more encouraged to do better next time. You know? And then rather than you take this money and then on my condition, on the government condition, we are giving back 10%. And then on top of that, to make the local industry, film industry happy, we are giving free grants. It's like, until when? Like when will this last? By giving out free grants. So if you take away the free grants or reduce the free grant only applicable to those who are needed, you know, and then you eliminate the entertainment tax. And then people like me or Scope or whoever, like, you know, producers, we will do our own calculation. Hey man, if I do a 10 million pictures right now, okay, 2 million extra revenue coming back. So hey, I got 2 million extra. Will I put this money into the production to make it better? To see if I can hit 15? You know, these are the gamble that we need to do as a producer. And it should be done this way. So you're gonna get incentivized or you're gonna get rewarded based on your performance. You know, not some free grants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
And I, from what I understand, some of that free grant system was kind of abused or could be abused by people in certain positions or who have friends in certain places.
I have no comment to that, but I've already heard about it.
Right. Okay. So moving on then, I guess you've got you started out by making Chinese film, the first Malaysian Chinese films.
Commercial films.
Commercial films, right? And now you're a Chinese filmmaker focusing on Malay films, right? So how does that work for you from a cultural standpoint? And, you know, is it a different audience that you're playing to, or how do you think about it when you approach, you know, something like this?
I like it. I like to throw myself out to the sea to see how I swim. So and you know, thank God I'm still doing okay in the industry right now. And I take it as an opportunity to learn more about Malay. You know, because I'm Chinese and then I'm trying to do Malay stuff. So I have to learn more about Malay. I need to know what kind of films they like, and then you know, their daily stuff, how do they think, what kind of film they enjoy. Now I need to study a little bit. So which I like, because to me it's a learning process. I mean, the thing that I fear most in life is the day that I stop learning. You know, so I'm still learning about the Malay market right now. Yeah, so I don't feel out of place right now. Out of place. It's always a big challenge to come to think of what to do next. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever, you know, on this podcast, we recently had a video that kind of went viral about racism, right? Because I was speaking to a Malay actress who was saying that, no, there's, you know, a study came out and saying Malaysia is the most racist country in the world. And she said, no. Malaysia, you know, we're very comfortable with each other. We're not the most racist country in the world. And a lot
Do you know who's the most racist people in Malaysia?
Oh.
Politician. Not us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to ask. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, how you feel. Have you experienced it? Because in our comment section, we were getting a lot of the minority people saying, "Oh, you know, the laws are made for this. The laws are made," and I just kind of want to get, you know, we've already had someone who's a Malay. I'd like to get a different perspective, if you don't mind.
Like, racism doesn't happen around me. I don't see it in my daily life. I don't feel it. I don't smell it. I don't feel it. I don't feel racism in my daily life. So when people talk about racism, like I said, it's a game still being played by our politician. You know, I don't feel it in my daily life, and I don't see it or I don't hear it from any of my friends that, you know, I'm being discriminated because of a race and everything. I don't know. It just to me it's non-existence.
Yeah, and frankly, from the story that you told earlier, I think you're one of the people that have brought Malaysia together more so by allowing Chinese films to be considered as a local film with Malay titles. To me, that is integrating different races together, and because I've always said Malaysia is the melting pot of Asia, right? You've got the three major races that live here and share the country: the Malay, the Chinese, and the Indian.
Yep.
And Malaysia is still a relatively young country in
Of
a
course,
sense
of course.
of independence.
We're only
in the
68
50s.
years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just 30 years ago or 20 years ago to be able to, or 15 years ago to be able to, integrate the film scene essentially, which is what you did. I think that's a great step, and that's a major step towards unity.
Yeah.
Which has already existed. It just has to exist in the halls of bureaucracy.
Yes, that's right. From the scope of, from the eyes of the politician, it's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah.
Okay, because in terms of incentives and in terms of making films, everything across the board, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you're Chinese applying for the grant, you're Indian, you're Muslim, you're a Bhumi. I think they judge the application based on the credibility of the applicant. I think that's the case. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on and talk a little bit. I want to talk about censorship because that's obviously a big topic in the industry, right? I mean, I produced a film a couple of years ago, Pulau, that was heavily censored, and in fact, it was banned in 1 or 2 states.
Right.
After being approved by the federal government to be shown in every state. So, how do you deal with it, and how does it affect you from a creative standpoint?
Yeah. So, what's the saying? Like, if you can't change something, you dance with it.
Right.
If you can't change the world, whatever, you dance with it. There's a saying to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the censorship board in Malaysia, they have rules, they have their guidebooks and everything, but every meeting to classify the movie, because censor board consists of many departments, right? KDN, police, this and that, Puspa, and everybody. So it's not one unit. So it involves a lot of unit, the representative from each unit to come in, to sit down, to watch the movie, and to raise your concern if you have any, right? The problem with that, if every time, every department or every unit is sending the same people, then got no problem. Then I think because when you have experience in doing that week in and week out, and then you have the base standard there, right? Oh, I give 13 to this film. Oh, this one probably I can do it with you. Oh no, this one has to be 18. The problem with that is that every single time they are sending different people. Okay, so imagine 3 of us, we are in the same unit. Okay, Mike, today's session you go. Next week I go. Week after that he goes. So what is the rule of thumb here? What is the judgment here?
Right.
You have your different. You might access the film differently from me. That's why we keep hearing like, why? How come this movie got this rating? That movie got that rating? It's because of this. Yeah, and then that's how censorship is being done in Malaysia by different people from different units, and then not the same people from the same unit, right? So
there should be a standardized set of rules.
Yes.
That are abided.
There are rules. But like Bible.
Yeah.
Like Bible, like Quran, it's always up to your own interpretation. Correct? The one who digests it, the one who interprets it, and then subsequently put it into action. So the rule book is always there. It's really up to how you see it, right? So this kiss scene, to me it's fine. To you, no, this is too extreme. So and then basically these are to me these are the one of the main concern for censorship. And then in my case, I've done a picture called The Assistant, released in 2022. That movie, when I wanted to make that movie, I already told everybody it's going to be an 18 rated movie. Don't ask me to tone down in terms of the violence and the gore part. I want it to be in your face, right? So, and then I did it. And then eventually, when I submitted it, they rated the movie as 18 rated. But they asked me to do 24 cuts. 24 cuts.
That's a lot.
24 cuts. I was like, if I do these 24 cuts, you should freaking give me a U. You know, like you know, suitable for everybody. Not a 18 rated movie, but you know what? I'm not gonna appeal for the rating. I'm appealing for the cuts. I don't mind getting 18, okay? But I'm appealing for the cuts. Like, to a point, literally me and my team, we sat down, we go through line by line, and then every single line, like example, or there's this, the actor in the movie said, the law, your balls are, or you can't say this is too rude. And then we crop a local movie that has people saying, hey, your balls, whatever, and attached to the next column to it, watch this. This movie got you know, suitable for everybody. You rated movie, and you are giving me 18 and still ask me to cut away this. You know, I literally, there are 24 of it. Every single one of it, we managed to find like a example to counter it. Like, hey, this movie got you. Hey, this movie got you. Hey, this movie got you. And what is the standard of it? You know, where is the standard of it? And then we submit. Like we file for an appeal. And then in Malaysia, you must understand how things works. Oh, bless you.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Malaysia, you must understand how things work, right? Probably in the US or somewhere else, the moment you submit the appeal letter, rest assured your case is going to be taken care of. That's how probably Western country works. In Malaysia, no, you just need to work a bit more, go and talk to people, meet the president, this and that, do the talking, explain to them. Yeah, so eventually, after the appeal, I still need to make 2 cuts.
Okay.
Still 18 rated, but 2 cuts. But at least, you know, I was like,
Well, that's a hell of a difference between 24 cuts.
yeah, and the 2 cuts also is like, it's some vulgar words. It's some vulgar words.
And I remember I went to the premiere. I watched that film. I really liked that film. And I particularly loved the action scene that took place in like the drug den with the red lights, and it was this really long scene where he's beating up everybody.
Yes.
I thought that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, this kind of thing, it almost ends up putting you in a box too. When and it demoralizes you a little bit, right? You make a movie, you make a piece of art, and they say 24 cuts. Because what's the point of a rating system if all you're going to do is censor?
Exactly.
Right? Because 18 years old, it's like, you're an adult. You can make up your own mind. You're not showing it to 12-year-olds.
Yes.
Right? So it's either you get rid of the cuts or you get rid of this. You get rid of the rating system.
Yes.
That's nanny state stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
And I also find that ends up putting creators in a box because certain stories
you tend to hold back a little bit.
You hold back, and certain stories just can't be told, right? You can't talk about corruption. You can't talk about a lot of true stories that are newsworthy stories are difficult to tell. Religious stories. You know, and some of these things are important stories to tell, and it's difficult to tell, to try and raise money for this when you know that it's going to end up getting cut up, and then you have to rely on a foreign box office.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, overall I think I'm always one for less censorship, because if you have a rating system, then the rating system is in place for a reason. People should be able to decide what they can and cannot watch when you're 18 or over.
Yep.
Right? And all right, we've talked about some of the pretty big like political things in the entertainment side. What about dealing with actors and actresses? Do you have a specific, style that you deal with? Have you ever had to deal with any divas or any kind of like anything like that on set? Or not so much here as you would in Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, lucky for us, I don't think I've encountered any diva on my set before. Basically, I can talk to anybody. I can work with anybody. And then I don't think I've come across any difficult actor or actress per se. However, because I do production support as well for foreign jobs. Okay. And then in those foreign jobs that I witness divas.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm pretty glad that we don't have those kind of attitude in Malaysia. Yeah.
And what directors do you think inspired you?
Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan. That's my number one favorite director.
Okay.
Yeah.
The modern GOAT.
Yeah, the modern GOAT.
Of the modern era.
I saw there's one post on the Instagram. They are voting for the best director ever. So it comes to the final right now. It's Steven Spielberg against Christopher Nolan. So people's gonna vote and see who's the best director in their opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, both very commercial directors.
Yes.
Right? And Spielberg essentially created modern Hollywood, the modern blockbuster film.
Yes.
Before him, you had Star Wars, but I mean, he had Jaws, he had Indiana Jones,
E.T.
E.T., so many of these huge blockbuster films. And then Nolan kind of came with these like smart films, right? Like mind-bending. I mean, I remember watching his first film, Memento, and I was just blown away by it.
Yes.
Right? The opening scene, he's running after somebody. Oh, what's going on? What am I doing? Oh, I'm chasing this guy. Then the guy starts shooting at, oh, nope, he's chasing me. And he turns around. It was just fucking genius, you know?
Yes.
And the way Nolan plays with time is just fascinating to me.
But not all movie works, in my opinion. Tenet, I did not enjoy Tenet.
So hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I watched twice. I was like, I'm probably a little bit too ahead of our time right now. I couldn't understand it. I did not enjoy it, Tenet.
That one I think was a bit too heady.
Yeah.
Like, even though, sometimes he makes these like flow charts of like how the time goes. I mean, Inception, I love
Inception. I love Inception, yes.
Loved Inception. The other movie that people give a ton of credit to...
Interstellar?
No, I like Interstellar, but I think he kind of cheated a little bit at the end with the whole like 4-dimensional... that was a little bit confusing.
But to me, that was interesting.
But the soundtrack for Interstellar was like Hans Zimmer just crushed it with that.
Yeah.
I just saw Hans Zimmer. The Malaysian Philharmonic played Hans Zimmer's music at the Philharmonic. Okay. It was actually John Williams versus Hans Zimmer. Oh. So it was like Spielberg versus Nolan in the Malaysian Philharmonic. It was really, really cool.
Nice.
But no, I was going to say the other Nolan film that I find a bit confusing was the war film with Dunkirk, yeah. Like people say it was the best film of the year. It was a great film, but for me, it was good. It was good, but it wasn't his best. I mean, I really liked, from an entertainment standpoint. To
me, the best movie of all time, Inception.
I loved Inception.
I loved Inception. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
A dream within a dream.
Yep.
Within a dream.
And it's so easy to understand. Complicated idea, easy to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the execution, to me, that was like Tom Hardy's breakout role. Like Tom Hardy stole that.
Yep.
Like Leonardo obviously was the man, but Tom Hardy was awesome in that film.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so Nolan, I could talk movies all day long.
Yep.
Over the years, starting from, your first small mainstream Chinese film to Pascal and MALBATT and these bigger budget films, how has your directing style matured? Like, how has it grown?
To be honest, I don't think I have like a specific style of directing or like a specific way of telling a story. Okay. I just fit in whatever I think fits, or based on the script. But yeah, of course, there are some maturity earned throughout the years, right? And there are some techniques that I know applies on a certain scene, it would work well. Like I said, it's a constant process of learning. I don't foresee myself fixated to a certain way of telling a story. I'm still exploring more fun way or more exciting way to tell even probably a simple story. But after like how many years? 15 years in the industry, I kind of know, to be honest, my sensitivity towards story is more sharp. It's sharpened right now over the years. And then, especially if you want to make a commercial story, then when I read at it, I will have this sixth sense, this sense, like to feel the story, like whether or not this is probably gonna work. Oh no, this for sure it's not gonna work. So you need to know what kind of movie you're trying to make, right? If you want to make a box office commercial piece, there's a certain formula to it. You cannot change. There's no way you can alter that, right? Then if you want to make like a indie films, experimental films, and then you want to go through the festival circuit, and then that's another thing, which is a route that I don't actually much explore yet. I tried with Reversi, but so far it's just one. So over the years, these are I managed to harness this kind of sensitivity. Yeah.
All right. I mean, one of the other things that I love about you is like you're always utilizing new technology, right? Like whether it's drones when they first started coming out, or robotic arms and stuff like that, right? You showed me a clip the other day.
Yeah.
And that's like very new in terms of filmmaking, isn't it? Like using the robotic arm to do certain types of shots.
But to be honest, there are a couple of local films tried using it already. But the way I look at it, probably they did not need it, but I don't see the max potential of robotic arm being explored in those shots. You know, maybe the director doesn't want it that way. They just want it to have like just make it this simple. Yeah, and to me, when we have this kind of new equipments per se, like the techno crane, when it first came out, when it first arrived in Malaysia, I was the first one to use it. It's a retractable arm for crane that can go in and out very fast using air pressure. So things like this will give me, will make the shot looks more dynamic, right? And including the robotic arms that they mentioned, like even in Metrodome Park, there's something called Russian arm. It's something so old. I mean, it's old but still relevant right now that people always use it for car chasing scene in Hollywood, or even for the local vehicle car commercial. They use it. So I don't think anyone in Malaysia has used it for a movie before.
The Russian arm?
Russian arm, yes.
What is it? Can you
So
explain?
it's like a crane, attached to a car, a powerful car. Typically they'll use like probably, I don't know, Porsche or whatever, those powerful big vehicles. And then it's a robotic arm in a way that you can manage to swing it.
Yeah.
It has a gyro to it. So you can go actually at speed and it's still very stable. It's called Russian arm, right?
Okay.
So this is, I mean, if you watch any other movie making of those car chasing scene in Hollywood, the vehicle that you see that they have the camera attached to it with an arm on it, that's called Russian arm.
Okay, so I think they're shooting Turbang right now.
Yeah. Do you have that?
And I mean,
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean,
they had that. They also had something that was so cool. On top of the car that was chasing the arm, they had a guy. It came from Thailand though. They use it from Thailand. It's essentially an attachment that you add to the car. The guy on top of the car
is driving the car.
And then the actor can do what he needs to do.
Yes, so he can perform, he can focus on. That's how Hollywood does it.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, I mean, that's a good thing to hear. That will bring 100% will bring the shot to the next level. People are gonna feel more dynamic and more intense performance by the actor and etc. And because the actor doesn't have to think about the driving.
Exactly.
He just focuses on the performance, right? So this is something really, really cool. Like, I mean, I'm glad that someone else is doing it because that's how we can bring our cinematography, our production to the next level.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, Malaysia is catching up to Hollywood, right? Like by utilizing these new technologies, it's kind of starting to level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
And the fact that audiences want more local content, then, it is catching up. I mean, I've seen it in the 15, 16 years that I've been here, the quality of filmmaking has gone up dramatically over the last 16 years.
I agree.
And I actually go and watch local films.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Hell, I produce local films. All right, but we've got this new generation coming up, right? Gen Z, Gen Alpha. And these guys are growing up on these 15-second clips of TikTok
short content
and dopamine hits, right? How do we compete with that? Are you changing your style at all? I think I noticed some changes in like Mission Impossible because of it.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't foresee myself doing those short content. That's number one. But the gap is obvious. They don't appreciate movie like we do last time because if you come to think about it, like 10, 15, 20 years ago, what is the main form of our entertainment in the society other than movie watching? It's pretty much limited. People don't watch TV.
Reading.
Reading,
TV,
reading. And then TV, like, those days probably they have better content on TV. I'm not sure because I'm not that old. Anyway.
Oh, worse content. TV content has gotten so much better over the years.
But now, they have gotten better, but then they're also competing with different form of entertainment that people can consume nowadays. Your tablet, your phone, your computer.
Video games,
YouTube.
YouTube.
And etc. So now Gen Alpha, Gen Z nowadays, they have so many choices to consume entertainment, right? So movie to them is like, I have to sit down like 2 hours to watch a movie. Is it worth it? I need to pay? What? It's not free? This kind of thing. Yeah, the world has changed. But I do believe movie making, cinema experience will not die.
Yeah, there's nothing like the cinema experience.
Yes.
Going into a theater and just being surrounded by sound and this gigantic screen. I mean, you're in the movie, right?
And to go to a cinema to watch a movie with friends, it's a social event.
Yeah.
Human beings are social animals, so I don't think cinema going will die.
Right, like going to see a comedy with a packed house where everybody's laughing. I mean, that's an evening. That's an experience,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I'll admit one of my most memorable experiences in the theater was Endgame when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there opening night. I mean, the crowd just went nuts.
Yes.
And when you get to, it's like going to a live event, like a stadium,
Yes,
like a
yes.
sports game or
Yes,
something like
yes,
that,
yes.
right? When
True.
you're into it.
Yeah.
But I have noticed trends in film writing and filmmaking differ, like particularly even let's say the last 20 years, right? Something that never really happened in the 90s or maybe even the early 2000s was like at the beginning of a film, there's an action scene. For the first 5-10 minutes, it's like, okay, let's make an action scene that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but just to get the audience engaged right
Yeah.
away. That's a totally new formula. That's at least, the last 15, 20 years. Prior to that, you watch a movie from the 90s, they went into the story right away. There wasn't some irrelevant action scene to get
Yep.
to get it hooked. So that's why I'm kind of thinking like, okay, with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and they've got this short attention span, they've got these 15-second, dopamine hits. I noticed when we watched Mission Impossible, the latest one, I felt that the intro was faster. They sped up some of the action.
Yep.
Some of it, everything just seemed like a bit faster
Yes.
and like tighter.
I do notice that also.
Faster
Yep.
pacing.
Yep.
And I wonder if that's something that's going to be part of the near future. Like, it's hard to get these slow burn films now because they're just worried about box office.
Yeah, like I said, if you want to make an entertainment, you want to make a commercial piece, that's what you should keep up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to make an experimental film or like a festival circuit that talks about society, human behavior, this and that, you can do whatever you want, to be honest. But if you want to make a commercial piece, yeah, that's a trend that you should be keeping up
Yeah.
with. Yeah, fast content, fast pace, a lot of plot twists, this kind of thing. Yeah.
What do you think about AI and deep fakes and AI in the film industry and virtual actors and
It's an inevitable reality that we have to face one day. But I don't think the technology of AI, deepfake nowadays, has developed or matured enough to replace filmmakers. I don't think so. There was a movie, this is a funny thing. So there was this movie made by China company, I can't remember. So it's solely AI made. You prompt the whole, they prompt the whole movie.
Full movie.
Full movie. I didn't go to the premiere. It was being brought in by one of the producers in Malaysia, and then they shared it in the producers group, PFM. And then everybody was so excited, this and that, this and that. And I was like, guys, you're looking at the thing that probably going to replace us. Why are you guys so excited about it? Probably not in our time, not in our generation. Probably, when the time comes, I'm sure filmmakers would have found a way to incorporate their skills with AI technology and etc. to produce a great film. That era, probably not within the next 5
was
10
it an
years.
animated film or was it?
I didn't go.
Okay.
I have no idea. I did not even watch the trailer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I've been following this quite closely.
Yeah, but now I know Hollywood has been using it,
Yeah.
to contribute to a small fraction of the movie.
Right.
It is far from dominating the whole process of a filmmaking.
No,
for now.
yeah. At this point, Netflix has been using it too to change languages. So
Yeah,
let's say
yeah,
you have
that's
a
true.
Malay film, they can use AI to mouth the
Yes,
words
yes.
and make it in English.
Yes.
And I saw they did it with a Swedish film. It was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yep.
good. Okay. What would you say to somebody who's just getting started in filmmaking and wants to make it in this industry, in this country? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Do you want to get rich? If yes, don't do it. Change your industry. Do something else. But if you are passionate enough, you have a story to tell, you have a dream to live with, you have a dream to catch, this is probably the right one for you.
And let me tell you something about me, right? I came from a family that didn't have many means, right? And in the United States, when you start in the film industry, you make no money, just like here, right? And I was in New York at the time, and I wanted to be, I like you, studied film. I wanted to be part of film. I made a student film. But then when I got out, all the freelance jobs were paying like $24,000 salary a year. Can't even cover your rent.
A year?
A year. Can't even cover your rent in New York, right? So I had to delay that dream until later on. And then what I come to find out is that most of the people that get involved in the film industry in the West come from like families that are well off. and they can afford to get subsidized by the parents, and they can afford to work in the mailroom, and they can afford to take these shitty jobs for low pay as an assistant getting coffee and being a grip or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so there is sort of like this barrier for entry, right? And I guess, I probably could have done it if I like bartended at night or was a waiter at night and then did that, but I guess I just didn't have so you need the passion.
Yes,
you need
passion.
the passion.
Yes.
It's very, very important. What about connections? How does it work here? Do you think somebody needs connections to make it in the game? Or what about even becoming an actor? You're a producer, right? How do actors get to the top for all those aspiring actors out there?
If you have connection in the industry, in fact, if you have connection in any industry, it helps. That's for sure. But if you don't have any connection in industry, it's going to be tough. If it's easy, everyone else would have done it, right? So there's so many people who has a dream to be an actor, actress, but there are only a few who could actually do it, right? Because it's tough. Number one, it's tough. Do you have the grit? Can you survive for the first few years to really get yourself known? I'm talking about actor and actress, right? To make people know of you, to make people see you, to subsequently like contact you for jobs rather than you go knocking doors, right? So those are the process. Most of the time, putting off a lot of people. People got put off by because, like you said, some people they need money. They need money now and now, right? So yeah. But like I said, if you have the passion, don't give up. Keep your head down. Keep working hard. And in our industry, you need a bit of luck.
Yes, I agree. All right, before we go off, I just want to say one more thing about censorship. And, the funny thing about censorship, that it's a point that I want to make that we didn't make before. We have this system of a rating system, right? And then what is it, 13, 16, 18, something like that, right? And the fact that you want to continue to censor, but yet the entire internet is open to the world and it is not censored. Netflix is not censored. Amazon is not censored. Disney is not censored, right? So why do you want to censor films in the film industry when you have the entire rest of the world that is not censored?
There's no regulation right now to censor content on the internet. I'm sure if there is, they would have censored it already. And then it's their job and their obligation to make sure that the content being screened in the cinema is being censored. This is the reality. I understand the context that you're bringing up, like there's no censor on the internet and the OTT, but why would they want to still censor the cinema, right? It is what it is. And I don't think there's going to be any regulation that managed to sanction or to regulate content from the OTT.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't think so. So I
hope they don't.
Yeah, of course we hope they don't. Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is. I think even though it doesn't make sense, but I still think it's the right thing to do. But, however, I think censorship is needed, but it has to be more standardized, more unified, more. It makes more sense, please. So if you have, like you said, if you have the rating, if you are already giving out the ratings, probably you should be more lenient to those higher rating films, right? Like 18, 16. So yeah, I still think censorship is needed because in a way that you cannot control and you encourage it, they are two different things.
Yeah, the most important thing I think about it is to protect the children.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I mean, particularly on the internet, like as a parent.
Yeah, you have parental guide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
PG, right? And would you have anything to say? What about to anybody who wants to make a film, like a first-time filmmaker? What kind of advice would you give to a first-time filmmaker?
There are grants. There are grants, not just in Malaysia but around the world. If you have a story you want to tell, put up a good deck, go for pitching, send your deck all over the world, not just Malaysia. But of course, Malaysia we can get the grant. They have this. I think they have this new filmmakers grant, if I'm not mistaken. That's where you can start. And then if your story is good enough, being selected by foreign festival, they have always got this what you call it, the grant from the foreign festival, right? Yeah. So they have all sorts of grants out there. So go for it. For first-time filmmaker, this is what you should be doing. Or if you have good presentation skill, you know how to pitch to investors, go ahead, go try it. These are the ways that you can do it. Or you have your father, your family is willing to support you. That's the easiest way, the fastest way. Yeah.
But come up with like a reel, right? Show people what you can do.
Yeah, shoot. I mean, nowadays everyone is a filmmaker. With your phone, you can just shoot whatever you want. It's easier to present an idea right now compared to 10 years ago because of the advancement of technology. Everyone has phone, high megapixel, HD film, HD camera, this and that, and you can just present your idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, Adrian. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you,
I
Michael.
really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Let's do it again.
Yeah,
Let's do it
we
again.
have to, yeah.
Because we had a limited time this time. I think we do it again next time.
Next time I'm gonna have some wine.
Yeah. We can have wine.
Yeah.
I'll get some catering.
Yeah, nice.
We'll do it when you're coming out with another movie.
Yeah.
Why not?
Next one.
Yeah. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Good.
Cool.